Have you ever felt it? That powerful, undeniable, almost magnetic pull from a woman, yet her words, her overt actions, her carefully constructed demeanor seem to scream indifference, perhaps even calculated distance or frustrating ambiguity. It's confusing. It's maddening. It makes you question everything you thought you knew, everything you thought you felt. But what if I told you that her heart, her deepest, truest self, is telling an entirely different, often contradictory story? What if, deep down, beneath layers of fear, pride, or circumstance, she does love you, or is rapidly, irrevocably falling for you, but for a myriad of complex, often painful reasons, she's desperately, consciously trying not to show it. Her conscious mind, her ego, might be valiantly fighting a desperate battle to suppress it, but her subconscious, her authentic core, her very soul, often betrays her in subtle yet powerful ways. Today, we are not just observing, we are becoming heart detectives, decoders of the unspoken. I am revealing 5 silent yet incredibly potent, almost forbidden signs that a woman loves you deeply but is actively, fiercely trying to hide it from you, and perhaps even from herself. These are the subtle, involuntary leaks from her carefully guarded heart, the tells she can't fully control. And pay extremely close attention, because sign number 4 is so profoundly counterintuitive, so easily misinterpreted as something negative, that it fools almost everyone, yet it's often one of the most undeniable giveaways of her true, suppressed feelings. This is how you will finally, truly know. So, the burning question: why on earth would a woman who truly, deeply loves you, or is falling profoundly in love with you, actively try to hide those powerful, beautiful feelings? The reasons are often deeply personal, incredibly complex, and rooted in a potent cocktail of psychological factors, crippling fear of vulnerability and past heartbreak. She's terrified of being emotionally exposed, of being rejected, of being hurt again like she may have been in the past. The deeper the feelings, the higher the perceived stakes, the greater the fear. Perceived insurmountable obstacles or unsuitability. Perhaps she believes you're not truly interested or that you're unattainable. Maybe there are significant external complications. She's already in a relationship. However unhappy, you work together in a sensitive environment. There's a societal taboo, like a significant age gap she's deeply uncomfortable with, or perceived disapproval from friends or family. Overwhelming pride and fear of appearing needy or desperate. Deep-seated societal conditioning or intense personal pride might make her incredibly reluctant to show her cards first, to risk looking vulnerable, overly eager, or, heaven forbid, desperate for your affection. Subconscious or conscious testing of you and the situation. She might be subconsciously or even consciously waiting to see the unwavering depth, consistency, and sincerity of your commitment and pursuit before she dares to reveal the true extent of her own feelings. She needs to feel unequivocally safe. Profound internal confusion, self-doubt, or even denial. Sometimes the feelings are so strong, so unexpected, or so contrary to what she thinks she should feel that she's even fighting to deny them to herself, trying to rationalize them away. This intense, often agonizing internal battle between her heart's undeniable desire and her mind's powerful defenses, her fears, her rationalizations, is precisely what creates these subtle, often contradictory, yet incredibly revealing nonverbal signs. They are the involuntary leaks, the cracks that appear in her carefully constructed emotional dam. Silent sign number 1. Often the first crack in her armor. Brief but incredibly intense, almost electrically charged soul gazes that she then quickly, almost violently, breaks. She will lock eyes with you, and for that fleeting microsecond, you will feel a profound depth, a raw, unfiltered emotion. Perhaps a flash of deep love, intense longing, undeniable sadness, or even fear. And then, just as quickly as it appeared, she will snatch her gaze away, often looking flustered, self-conscious, or feigning an urgent distraction. The underlying psychology. The eyes are the most honest, least controllable part of us. In that unguarded, involuntary moment, her true, suppressed feelings surface with undeniable power. The rapid, almost panicked break in eye contact is her conscious mind slamming the door shut, horrified that she's revealed too much, that her carefully guarded secret has been exposed. The intensity of the gaze comes directly from the immense power of the suppressed emotion fighting desperately to get out. Concrete example. You're talking in a group, perhaps not even directly to her, and you suddenly feel her eyes on you with an unusual weight. You turn, and for a split, almost imperceptible second, her gaze is incredibly soft, deep, almost yearning, perhaps with a hint of pain or vulnerability, before she quickly looks down, turns sharply to someone else, or her cheeks become slightly tellingly flushed. Silent sign number 2. She consistently performs accidental, seemingly out of character, but consistent acts of profound care, or exhibits an uncharacteristic, almost fierce overprotectiveness towards you that seems entirely disproportionate to your stated relationship status or her usual demeanor. The underlying psychology. True love, even when suppressed, often manifests as a deep, powerful, almost uncontrollable desire to nurture, to care for, and to protect the object of its affection. Even if her conscious mind is screaming at her to remain aloof, to maintain distance, her deeply ingrained instincts to care for you, to shield you from harm, emotional or physical, to ensure your well-being, will often override her conscious attempts to remain detached. Her heart compels her to act, despite her head. Concrete example. She just happens to bring you your absolute favorite, hard-to-find coffee when she knows you're having a brutally stressful day. She remembers a tiny, insignificant detail about an allergy or a phobia you once mentioned and goes out of her way to warn you or protect you from it. Or she gets unusually, almost fiercely upset or defensive on your behalf if someone even mildly criticizes you or slights you, then quickly tries to downplay her intense reaction, perhaps looking embarrassed by her own emotional outburst. Silent sign number 3, one of the most confusing for men to decipher, marked, often baffling, inconsistency in her emotional proximity to you. Moments of surprising, almost intoxicating warmth, openness, deep connection, and shared vulnerability, abruptly followed by periods of inexplicable distance, coolness, emotional withdrawal, or even active avoidance. The underlying psychology. This push-pull dynamic is the direct external manifestation of her intense, raging internal war. The pull. Those moments of warmth, genuine connection, shared laughter, deep conversation, is her authentic love, her genuine desire for closeness, powerfully breaking through her defenses. The push, the sudden distance, the coolness, the avoidance, is her fear, her pride, her societal conditioning, her conscious mind desperately trying to regain control, to suppress those overwhelming feelings, to not get too close, to not reveal too much of her vulnerable heart. Concrete example. She might share something incredibly deep and personal with you one evening, connecting with you on a level that feels profound and unique, making you feel like you're the only two people in the world. Then the very next day, or even later that same evening, she might seem almost like a polite stranger, distant, reserved, avoiding eye contact or cutting conversation short, only to perhaps, days later, send a surprisingly thoughtful, warm message or seek you out for another moment of surprising, intense connection. Silent sign number 4. And this, gentlemen, is the one that fools so many. The one that is so profoundly counterintuitive, it's often tragically misinterpreted as disinterest or even dislike. A consistently heightened, often seemingly disproportionate. Emotional reactivity specifically and uniquely to you, to your words, to your actions, to your moods, to your perceived approval or disapproval, or even just to your mere physical presence. This can manifest as unusual nervousness, uncharacteristic irritability or defensiveness, moments of unexpected, almost childlike joy in response to your kindness, or periods of surprising sadness or agitation if she perceives distance or disinterest from you. The underlying psychology. When strong, powerful, suppressed feelings are present for someone, that person becomes a potent emotional trigger. Their actions, their words, their very presence carry significantly more emotional weight, more significance than those of anyone else. A casual comment from you might be overanalyzed for days. Your good mood might make her disproportionately, almost giddily, happy. Your perceived distance, your slight change in tone, might make her unusually somber, anxious, or agitated. Her entire emotional equilibrium becomes easily, significantly disturbed by you, precisely because you matter so much to her, because her emotional investment in you is so profound, even if hidden. Concrete example. She seems unusually flustered, tongue-tied, or blushes easily only around you, but is perfectly composed and articulate with everyone else. Or she might get surprisingly defensive, sensitive, or even uncharacteristically upset over a minor teasing comment from you that she would normally brush off or laugh at if it came from anyone else. Conversely, a small, thoughtful gesture or a genuine compliment from you might visibly brighten her entire day, her entire week in a way that seems far beyond the act itself. And silent sign number 5, a beautiful, often endearing leakage from her subconscious. She frequently, almost involuntarily, drops unconscious future hints or naturally uses we statements when talking about potential future scenarios, aspirations, or even mundane plans, then might quickly self-correct, blush, or get flustered, realizing she's revealed more than she intended. The underlying psychology. When love is deep and genuine, when someone has truly captured another's heart, the heart and the subconscious mind naturally, almost automatically, begin to envision and plan for a future that includes that cherished person. Even if her conscious mind is actively trying to suppress these thoughts or deny the possibility of a future together, these deeply embedded desires and assumptions can inadvertently leak out in her language, in her casual conversation. The desire for a shared future, a shared journey, is one of the most powerful intrinsic components of deep love. Concrete example. She might be talking about a concert or a travel destination she's always dreamed of, and then casually say, "Oh, we should totally go there one day. I mean, you should definitely go if you get the chance," or whoever. And then she might blush deeply, laugh nervously, or quickly change the subject, embarrassed by her slip. Or she'll discuss a long-term personal goal and inadvertently phrase it in a way that clearly, naturally implies your shared participation or your supportive presence in that future. Her subconscious mind, her heart, has already fully embraced you as a permanent, integral fixture in her life's unfolding narrative. Her mind is betraying her conscious attempts at emotional detachment or cautious reserve by instinctively, joyfully projecting you into her future, a profoundly powerful indicator of deep-seated desire, perceived partnership, and a love she can no longer entirely contain. So you're observing a consistent, compelling pattern of these silent, powerful signs. You suspect with growing certainty that she loves you, but is fighting it. What is your next move? This, gentlemen, is an incredibly delicate, high-stakes situation. You must tread carefully, wisely, and with profound empathy. The absolute key is not to confront her directly, not to pressure her for a confession, not to say, "I know you secretly love me." This will almost certainly backfire, causing her to retreat further, deny everything vehemently, and reinforce her emotional walls, perhaps irreparably. Instead, your primary objective, if you reciprocate these feelings and desire a genuine connection, is to subtly, patiently, and consistently create an overwhelmingly safe, trustworthy, non-pressuring, and inviting emotional environment where she feels secure enough, valued enough, and desired enough to eventually, voluntarily, lower her guard if and when she is truly ready. Your unwavering, patient confidence, your genuine warmth, your consistent high-value behavior, and your subtle but clear indications of your own genuine interest, without neediness or demand, can be the gentle, irresistible key that eventually unlocks her hidden, guarded heart. Be the safe harbor, not the storm. The 5 silent yet deafening signs she loves you, but is actively, desperately trying not to show it. 1. Intense, fleeting, almost painful soul gazes. Her eyes confess what her lips won't. 2. Accidental but consistent acts of deep care and uncharacteristic overprotectiveness. Her heart's instincts override her head. 3. Marked inconsistency in her emotional proximity, the push-pull dynamic, her internal war made visible. 4. Heightened, often disproportionate, emotional reactivity, specifically to you. You affect her profoundly because you matter profoundly. 5. Unconscious future hints and involuntary we statements. Her heart is already planning your life together. The human heart, especially a guarded one, has its own intricate, often silent secrets. In the comments section below, I invite you to share your invaluable experiences. Which of these silent heart leaks, these powerful tells, have you personally witnessed or experienced that made you realize with dawning certainty that her feelings for you were far deeper, far more intense than she was letting on? Or perhaps there's another incredibly subtle, almost invisible sign of hidden, suppressed love that you've learned to spot with keen accuracy. Let's collectively become masters at reading the unspoken language of the heart. Your insight could be a revelation for someone else. If this video offered you a new, profound level of insight into the complex, often confusing dynamics of hidden affection, if it armed you with clarity, share it. Help other men and women understand the silent, powerful language of a guarded yet loving heart. This understanding can save so much guesswork and heartache. For more deep, transformative dives into the intricate psychology of attraction, the profound mysteries of unspoken love, and the art of decoding human behavior with unparalleled insight and confidence, make sure you have decisively unlocked that subscribe button and have activated that all-important notification bell. The deepest, most potent truths are often silent, waiting to be discovered. Learn to listen, not just with your ears, but with your entire being. Listen closely to the whispers of the heart,